If you had leaked out Lemonade, it would have been a wrap. It would have been a wrap. Your career would have been over. What's up, everyone? Welcome to season 2 of The Lowdown with D-Lo. Delapo, aka The Name Means Wealth. Shmoney. That's money for you young folk. Your girl's dripping. She has the coins. Moolah. Naira. Dollar bills. And your ma, she's swimming in that money. Not really. I just signed a lease. Basically gave my firstborn child. If you guys don't know me, I am a host, creative producer, and director in New York City. I travel the world making videos, but my true love is pop culture. I have so many amazing guests, famous world-renowned artists, music artists, filmmakers, anyone who's dope and black, I'm bringing them on. You better click and subscribe. Doesn't seem like you want to upgrade your life. Let me upgrade your... Why do I not know how to sing that song? There's only one thing to do to upgrade your life, is to subscribe to The Lowdown with D-Lo. Studies have shown, studies literally have shown that if you subscribe to The Lowdown with D-Lo, you actually gain wealth. It was done by the Harvard Business Review. Harvard, Columbia, Stanford. So join us. Subscribe for days. Hot, piping jollof rice. No tea. We don't spill tea here. We spill jollof rice. No, we don't spill jollof rice. Do not waste Naija jollof. If you don't know this by now, I'm Nigerian. Naija, we know they carry last. I just love being Nigerian American. Even the shirt I'm rocking is from a Nigerian designer. Kai Collective, baby. Which is so funny because let's actually take it back. Back in the 90s, growing up as Nigerian was not cool. Dude, it was a struggle. Strug City. I grew up in Fresno, California. Actually, really Clovis, California, aka population of black people, 0. I was always the one black kid on classroom, one black person in the sports team. I love theater, so as you know, I'm really animated. I signed up for my school play in the 5th grade. We did this adaptation. It was all the Disney movies combined. Beauty and the Beast, The Jungle Book, Aladdin, all the poppy 90s Disney movies. And it was following 2 kids who go through all these Disney adventures. I think it even had like Mary Poppins in it. It was just a hodgepodge. Basically Disney on crack. Guess what role they gave me? Rafiki. They had me wear my Nigerian clothing. How many times I was tokenized or used as the only black kid. Of course, when I went into middle school, that's when I realized, oh, not only are you black, but you're African. Because I actually, at my middle school, I started having more black students. I got clicked and clucked at by all my African American brothers and sisters. Like literally people go, Delapo. As if I knew what those clicking meant. I was asked if my family lived with lions and slept in trees. I wasn't specifically called African booty scratcher, but you'd hear rumblings of that. That was like the worst. When you really wanted to get an African, you call them an African booty scratcher. Like, ooh, messed up. Speed into 2010s, Afrobeats just took over the world. Now all you guys are trying to claim some tribes. I have like African American friends be like, oh yeah, I think I'm Igbo. I'm like, girl, you just found out what Igbo was. Let's just be honest. Wakanda is what made you guys woke to Africa. I just wanted to just talk about why I love being Nigerian. 1, we are the most expressive people in the world. We just had a family gathering for my mom's birthday. When I say this whole house shook with laughter, it was crazy. Number 2, Naijas, we know they carry last. B's were F's in my household. What is B? You got a B, you got a slap. You got your rights taken away, as if you had rights. One time my mom tried to say like I was grounded. I was like, girl, my life is grounded. How can you ground me from not letting me do anything? See? Otiku, Okpami, you're done. You're killed. Get an F? Boy, I actually never met a Nigerian who got an F. There's only 3 accepted professions in Nigerian parents' minds. Doctor, lawyer, engineer. Anything else, you're a prostitute. You can literally be a CEO and your parents will look at you and be like, do you have your doctorate, lawyer degree? So tell my mom why I told her that I just wanted to talk in front of a camera. Jay! Yeah. We're still working through that, through therapy. Things are great. Number 3, our food is excelente. Honestly, have you had Naija jollof? Have you had egusi stew? Pounded yam? Eforiro? I feel for you, truthfully. I can guide you. Just take my hand. Take my hand. And I'll guide you to the Nigerian delectables. Nigerian delicacies. God, take my hand to Nigeria's delicacies. Number 4, we know how to party. Hey, we kill it. And have you heard we have a money dance? Spray singles in the air. Number 5, melanin. Like, melanin. Fine girl, no pimple. Number 6, Nollywood. If you haven't seen a Nollywood film, you have not watched good cinema. We actually have some stuff on Netflix that are actually really popping. Experience it for yourself. And last but not least, Afrobeats to the world. Naija invented Afrobeats. T-Square, Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido, Kiss Daniel, D'banj, you're my African queen, girl of my dreams, make my heart go ting-a-ling. I don't even know the words. Nigerians are popping. We're the criminal. I don't even know why I don't know how to speak today. Next guest, I am so excited to introduce him. He is the criminal. I actually met him 2 years ago. We went to Nigeria together. He is global. He's world renowned, baby. I am so excited to introduce none other than Laolu, Nigerian bred, Brooklyn based artist. He's worked with everyone. Beyonce. Let's get into the interview. Laolu, world renowned global artist. First off, he started off as a human rights activist, lawyer, artist, musician, songwriter. Everything is your canvas. Worked with everyone. Beyonce. Been on everything from Starbucks to working with Facebook. It's just so many projects that you've done. Me and Laolu met 2 years ago. We went to Nigeria together. Cool, awesome partnership with Red and Belvedere. Filmed on Now This and Thrillist. First off, I just want to ask, like, how have you been during this time, like, in general, just like, how have you been?
To be honest, it's been trying. It's emotional. We're losing that, sense of security because we've lost jobs, people at home, people watching, like, TV, real time watching news. That's kind of horrifying. Watching people being killed, watching people, protesters being, shot at. Art is something for me that has been a tool to be able to combat some of these feelings. Some days I cry and I start drawing.
Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that, because I think it's one of those times where it's unprecedented. We haven't been in a space like this before. I don't think not even our generation, but our parents' generation hasn't even experienced something like this. We have to realize that these feelings are real and we can't ignore it. For those who haven't watched your TED Talk, I want to take it back. Was there a singular moment that you knew you wanted to be an artist?
Far back as the age of 6, 7, something that always stood out to me was vision and how people see the world. I had this very active imagination. I played with toys. I played with everything I could play with. And I remember always trying to ask my brother if he saw the things I saw. And he would just look at me like, you're crazy. And that's when I knew people did not see, what I saw.
Even before you knew what creating was, it was just something that was a part of you. You just embodied that.
Nigerian parents, you have to be doctor, lawyer. You know how the story goes.
Only 3. There's only 3.
That was just their life. They didn't see me. I didn't exist in their world.
What you've accomplished is beyond their scope of dreams. Like, you know what I mean? That's really nice for you to be like, I understand. Like, they couldn't really even see.
You couldn't see it.
Couldn't see it.
Yeah. I was telling my dad at that point that I think I want to be an artist. And he was like, he was driving me around town and he showed me different artists. He would just point them out to me. I saw their condition and how poor they were. I had to sign up for law, so eventually I fell in love with law. It kind of exposed me to how I see the world. Intellectual property, licensing, it helped me, no doubt. But do I want to be average at law or do art and I'll be like exceptionally good and be a beast at it? So it was a no-brainer. Ever since I started doing art, I've never felt more alive.
This is also why I feel like Nigerians just excel in everything. It's because we're all slashers. Your background in law excelled you in terms of your business deals and how you approach your art. Thank God that you did that. It takes a lot, especially when you don't see it around you. The reason why we fight for representation is because you don't know how impactful that is for the young generations to come. You've worked with not only big names, companies as well. What would you say was your most proud collaboration?
One that kind of made me very emotional was Nike.
Was that your first big project in America?
Yeah, that was my first project in America. First Nigerian ever to do anything like that, ever. for Nike.
You're grounded and rooted in your culture. For you to not only go overseas, but also transcribed into all these different entities that value you. I think that's what we need and what we're calling for during these times.
It's like a new awakening. A lot of these companies are beginning to put our art on the fore.
Because, many people are calling for companies to stop pandering, with these blanket diversity statements and actually commit to anti-racism efforts. Partnering with people like you and actually supporting Black artists and paying them also what they are due.
All we're asking for is we're telling people to change the mindset. For example, I'm an artist, curators. There's a possibility that you're choosing the same thing over and over again. And you're not giving room for people who have divergent views, divergent art, people who actually bring more beauty.
It's not just looking at a famous makeup brand and saying, well, they use Black bodies in their advertisement, but actually looking at their leadership suite. I actually want to also kind of just go into just your art itself. What is a secret dream project or terrain that you haven't touched yet?
Children's coloring books. I love to make coloring books for kids. And I also want to make art on the spaceship. That's my dream. NASA, SpaceX, I want to put art in space.
That's what I love about your art. Your art is boundless. A coloring book like that, to be able to talk to the young children out there and the masses, I think that is so important. So I had to ask this question because you know how much I love her. But just give me the details of working with Beyonce.
First, I got a DM from one of the producers, and then I got an email. But I was still not too convinced. I was like, because I was waiting for the catch. And I asked when I would like to come to New Orleans, that Beyonce would love to meet me. I was like, okay. And I was still not convinced. And I got to the airport. People were waiting for me, put me in my car. Shit, this is real. I'm going to meet Beyonce. Wow, who knew?
You didn't even know the full details up until you got to the space. That's crazy.
And then when I got there, of course, I didn't know, celebrities have body doubles. So I saw this lady, she looked so much like Beyonce. It was not Beyonce. I was like, how did they even find you? Are you a clone?
Like, is this created in a scientific shop or what is going on?
I was just thrust into this whole world, all like established folks. And they were telling me stories. I didn't have any story. In my head, I was like, this is my fucking story. Like, y'all don't know, but I'm just going to play the part like, oh. And then I just walked in. I was like, hi, I'm Beyonce. And I'm just like, and she started thanking me. Like, she thanked me so much for coming. Like, in my head, I'm like, stop thanking me. Like, it's an honor to be here. Like, I'm so happy to be here right now. This is amazing.
It's like, why are you thanking me? I'm thanking you.
She's so polite, witty, smart, funny. And then she started telling me how she checked out my work on Instagram. That shook me a little bit. She was telling me about some of the jackets I painted on and shoes. I was like, you seen my shoes? After the meeting, I said, okay, I have something for her. So I went out to get shoes and I painted them overnight. So the next day I gave it to her. And she was just shocked, like, oh shit, yo, look at that. And I put Jay-Z on one part. I put, daughter on some part. Yeah. She loved it so much. Said, thank you. She's a very kind-hearted human being. And she's so hardworking. She's in front of the camera and behind the camera. Like, I saw her rehearse, like the dance steps. She'll be the first to get on and the last to get off.
Wow.
Respect. Like, she's not playing with that.
When people are like, oh, wait, why is she the queen? It's because she actually puts in the work. You did it.
All I just had to do now was keep my fucking mouth shut.
If you had leaked out Lemonade, it would have been a wrap. It would have been a wrap. Your career would have been over.
When it dropped, my life changed.
Because you are part of the forefront of Nigerians that are changing the world, why do you think we are really taking over? Why is Naija just on top?
Population of Nigeria itself has exploded. We have more people in creative spaces now than ever before. Nigeria also started developing like the Nollywood. Wow. Also the music industry started blossoming early 90s or 80s when people didn't want to associate with Africa or Nigeria because all they could see at that point was the military dictatorship, wars, UNICEF, these kids, the flies on their face. That was all the Western culture.
Western world knew. Mm-hmm.
But now it's different. Trust me, Naija cool. I understand that shit. Like everybody say, oh, I'm Naija.
People are like, oh, I'm Yoruba, or I'm Igbo, or I'm like, oh my God, you guys who used to click at me and now you want to be with us. Exactly. I don't want to end this without talking about your new project, the Old Lashes, New Ancestors, the shirt that you're wearing right now. Can you just talk about the inspiration behind that? Also the partnership with Facebook and like how you're giving back through your art and how you continuously do it. Because even with your COVID art as well too, you constantly use art to give back to the community.
A lot of people don't consider art as essential, part of essential services, but I think it is, because when you really look at how people are and people study people's behavior during the lockdown, during these uncertain times, people need content, to be able to get through the day. When I say old lashes, like when you look at what's on this, it's like you see the lines in between the back, it just represents like the whips, like lashes of whips that our ancestors had to bear. We carry this target on our backs. It's something about blackness that I had to learn. That's another thing I think they should teach more about blackness and slavery and Jim Crow in school in Africa, so people understand what that is, because we don't have that education. This is my new understanding about the movement. And when you look at it, you see all the names of, the different people who have died due to unnecessary police violence. And the fist in the air is like more like we're breaking that cycle. We're gonna make it stop. And then on the neck is Floyd. That's the target there, and that's actually the part where the police officer, put his knee on his neck. I feel you. I see you. Lift Africa voices. For the first time, there's universal listening. Like everybody's like, yes.
Universal listening. I love that.
Makes you uncomfortable. Let's talk about it. I mean, you feel guilty as a white person. What are you going to do about it? Don't just sit and do nothing.
Can you just tell people where they can get in support?
On the website, Laolu.nyc. You can also go on my Instagram, LaoluNYC. Click on the website to find the prints of this available. Part of the proceeds will go to Black Lives Matter.
Honestly, thank you so much. What's next for Laolu?
We're taking over the world. We're going to be in institutions, Wow. We want people to start learning more about the culture. Institutional relevance for me is the next thing. Getting in school curriculums and getting people educated.
Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
I was just on the lowdown with Dila.
Thank you guys for tuning in today. Make sure to subscribe. And that's the Lowdown with Dila. Bye, guys. Actually hit that subscribe button. You think I'm playing with you? Seems like you're okay with being basic.